Hey everyone, welcome to a special Monday edition on the updates of my fitness goals. So I have pledged to run a sub 4:30 mile by the end of 2021, and that was the impetus for starting this video series. In my last video series, I said that I also wanted to set sub goals. So I am going to be under 190 pounds by June 1st of this year, 2020, and I want to dunk a basketball by August 1st of this year. And I was thinking about this last night. I watched the All-Star game, had a great time watching it, and then I went on my walk. And as I was walking, I realized, whoa, it's kind of weird. Actually, the All-Star game was in Chicago. I wasn't even thinking about that when I was watching the game. When I was walking, I was like, man, these guys were right here. They were, a half a mile from where I am right now. And I was walking through River North, which is kind of the club area, and I thought, wow, I wonder if any of the guys on the All-Star team went out tonight. Like, how crazy, how cool would it be to run into somebody or see an NBA player that I look up to? And I started fantasizing about, well, what would happen if I ran into LeBron James? What would I say? As you can see, I have this poster on the wall that's falling down of LeBron. He's my guy. He's the guy I've been watching for a long time and that I really root for. And I thought, what would I want to say to him? Well, probably if I actually ran into him, I would just say, hey man, really enjoy watching you play. I wouldn't want to bother him much. And then I thought about, well, what would I really want to say if I got to sit down with him and really have a conversation? What would I want to communicate to him? And then I started thinking, what would I want him to tell me? What would inspire me? What could he say that would motivate me? And ultimately, I was thinking about all kinds of things like, oh, you should go for it in your business. You should do this. You should do that. You should make those videos on psychology you like. But I thought, well, he doesn't even know anything about that. He wouldn't be able to say anything about that. And I thought about it and I thought, you know what I'd really like? I'd really love for him to say, hey man, you do it by August 1st. You dunk a basketball. You can do it. Because that's something obviously he knows about. And I started thinking about that and I thought, I don't need him for me to tell him what he means to me. I don't need him to hear it. I just need to say it. And so that's why I wanted to make this video. So the reason why LeBron is so important to me is I just decided in 2008 that I really enjoyed watching him play. And I started rooting for the Cavs. And I grew up in Chicago with Michael Jordan, so obviously Michael Jordan was my idol growing up. And after Michael Jordan retired, I just stopped watching basketball. It wasn't interesting to me. It wasn't as fun without that guy, the guy to root for. So when LeBron was coming up, I started rooting for the Cavs. I was surprised the last 2 years he was with the Cavs before going to Miami, how good they were. And when he went to Miami, I didn't care. I had no allegiance to the Cavaliers, so I kept rooting for LeBron, and I rooted for the Heat. Now that year, of course, he was the villain. He was the antagonist. Everyone around the league, all the NBA fans hated him, and so that brought me closer to him because obviously anytime someone's going through a bunch of turmoil and you're on their side, you're going to dig in harder. But the real reason he has meant so much to me over the last 10 years is the following year, which was the second year that he was on the Heat. That happened to be the worst year of my life by a lot. I was teaching, started having panic attacks, getting to the point where it was actually dangerous for me to be in that situation. And so I moved away from where I was and moved back in with my parents in Chicago. And most of my friends didn't know I was in Chicago. And so I didn't do anything. I was kind of afraid to go outside. I was embarrassed about having left teaching. I was still obviously very anxious and depressed. But one of the things that I really derived enjoyment from was watching the Heat. And it was in the playoffs, and when they were down 3-2 to the Celtics, and he had that 45-15 game to just pummel the Celtics, and then they won Game 7, and then they're in the finals, and he has a great finals, and finally they win. And that was just such an elating experience for me. It was something that was so fun. It was something that I got to do that I enjoyed. My dad and I watched the games together. He obviously got really into it, even though he didn't really care about basketball. Just seeing me into it, obviously he was rooting for my team. And the best part was when they won, because so many of my friends knew that I was such a LeBron fan, people were texting me saying, hey, your guy won, this and that. And that got me to at least be able to tell people, oh yeah, by the way, I'm back in Chicago. Oh, by the way, this didn't go well. And so eventually people started inviting me out and got me out of the house, and a whole lot of other reasons of why I ultimately got a lot better and improved in my psychology. But that was certainly a helpful thing. And so for that, I will always be indebted to LeBron. Mostly because I just chose to root for him, but it really was a very meaningful experience to me, and that's what I would like to convey to LeBron, is that a lot of people hate you, but if people don't like famous people, those people don't detract from their lives, right? So if you don't like LeBron, LeBron doesn't make your life worse by being around. But for me, because I love LeBron, LeBron did make my life a lot better. And so that's what I would love to communicate to him, is that you really do provide inspiration to a lot of people, and anyone who doesn't like you, you're not really detracting from their lives. So you really add a lot of value with what you do, and of course all your charity work and that, but I'm just so impressed with how hard you work given how talented you are. I certainly don't work as hard as you, and if I were as talented as LeBron, I probably really wouldn't work hard. I would expect things to come easily. So that is definitely something that I'm very impressed with LeBron, and really anybody in the NBA that is that talented and works that hard is very, very impressive to me. So that's what I would want to communicate to him, and what I would hope he would communicate to me is just, hey, you're gonna dunk. Go fucking do it. None of this excuse. You're going to do it. Let's go. And the reason I want that is I know that if I met him and he told me that, there would be a 0% chance I wasn't dunking by August 1st. Maybe if I broke my leg or something, I wouldn't be able to do it. But I know I would be so inspired to do it. But why do I need that inspiration? It's all within my control anyway. So I'm going to try to manufacture that inspiration in myself and pretend like he told me that, and go out and do it anyway. So I'm about to hit the gym. If you're needing of inspiration for anything, whether it's fitness or life in general or whatever, just pretend that somebody that you really look up to told you to go for it. That would make you so inspired, and you would do it immediately. They wouldn't even have to say anything profound. They could just tell you to go do it, and you would do it immediately. So that's what I'm doing. I'm pretending like LeBron is telling me to go train to dunk by August 1st, and I am going to do it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and we'll see you next time.